If you always arrive exactly on time, your brain is not normal. Not early, not late, but precisely on time. That's not just discipline. It's psychology, and once you understand it, you might start questioning your own behavior. You've checked the time 3 times, left earlier than needed, planned every step in your head, and still, there's a slight tension until you arrive. Not panic, not stress, just discomfort. Here's the strange part. People who are exactly on time don't all think the same. For some, it's discipline. But for many others, it's something deeper. Fear of being judged, a need to protect identity, a belief that time equals respect, a discomfort with uncertainty. This isn't one reason. It's layers. Neuroscience and predictability. Your prefrontal cortex, your brain's control center, is constantly simulating the future. What if there's traffic? What if I'm late? What will people think? So your brain creates predictability. Because predictability feels safe. Imagine 2 people going to the same meeting. One leaves casually. The other calculates every delay, checks the route, reaches early, waits. That second person isn't just being responsible. Their brain is trying to eliminate uncertainty before it even happens. But wait. Fear of judgment. For many people, being late doesn't feel small. It feels like being judged, like being seen as careless, irresponsible, disrespectful. So they avoid that completely. Not early, because that feels unnecessary. Not late, because that feels unacceptable. Exactly on time feels safe, identity protection. Then comes identity. I am reliable. I am disciplined. I don't fall behind. They're not just arriving on time. They're protecting who they believe they are, because the moment they're late, that identity feels threatened. Time equals respect. Some people see time differently. For them, time isn't just time, it's respect. Being late doesn't feel casual. It feels like disrespecting someone else's value. So they show up exactly on time. Not to control, but to honor. Anxiety, avoidance. For others, it's not about discipline at all. It's about avoiding a feeling, that quiet discomfort of being behind, of things slipping out of place, so they plan more. Think ahead. Leave earlier, because arriving on time removes that tension. Elastic time. Now here's where it gets interesting. Not everyone experiences time the same way. For some people, time feels solid, fixed. For others, time feels elastic, stretchable, recoverable. They believe they can make up the difference later, walk faster, drive faster, skip something. And that's why 2 people can look at the same clock and feel completely different levels of urgency. But here's where it becomes addictive. Dopamine and consistency. Every time you meet your own standard, your brain rewards you, a small dopamine hit, not from success, but from consistency, from being the person who always shows up on time. And slowly, you don't just like being on time, you start needing it. Perfectionism. For some people, this goes even deeper. It becomes perfectionism, because perfection doesn't tolerate delay. Being exactly on time feels like getting it right. Anything else feels like a mistake, childhood conditioning. And sometimes, this pattern starts much earlier. If someone grows up in a structured environment, clear routines, punctual habits, predictable systems, timing feels natural. But if someone grows up in chaos, rushed mornings, last-minute decisions, constant unpredictability, their brain learns a different rhythm, react instead of prepare. So even as adults, they may either overcorrect or constantly feel out of sync with time. Planning fallacy and time perception. There's also something called the planning fallacy. Your brain naturally underestimates time. You think getting ready will take 10 minutes. It takes 18. You think the drive will take 15. It takes 22. And over time, your mind keeps believing the optimistic version, because it wants things to feel manageable. Time blindness. Some people don't feel time early. They feel it late. The clock is there, but the urgency doesn't hit until it's almost too late. And behavior isn't driven by information. It's driven by feeling. If you don't feel time passing, you don't react to it in time. Shame loop, hidden cost. And this is where it becomes a loop. You plan, you try, you adjust, But if something slips, you feel it. You arrive late once, you apologize, you feel guilty, and then you promise yourself, next time will be different. But guilt doesn't always fix behavior. Sometimes it creates anxiety, and anxiety makes timing worse. Real life reflection. Look at your own life. Meetings, dates, interviews. Sometimes you're not early, you're not late, you're perfectly on time. Ask yourself why. Are you disciplined? Or are you avoiding judgment? Are you respecting others? Or protecting your identity? Are you managing time? Or managing how you feel about yourself? Because in the end, this was never just about being on time. It was about meaning. The meaning your brain attaches to time, to perception, to identity, to uncertainty. Some people live by the clock. Others live by feeling. And when those two worlds meet, behavior gets judged, but rarely understood. Because sometimes, people are not controlling time, they are responding to something deeper.